Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Monday, August 11th, 2024. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5 card spread? We've got the seven. Wow, we've got the Seven of Swords in its reversal in combination with the Eight of Wands in its upright. This is a beautiful depiction of what we've been experiencing right now energetically. All right. But I also think that this is what this retrograde period can be helpful with. Because, you know, like, I feel like this is not the summer of our discontent. This is our summer with, this is like the summer of our discontent with the burden of memory, is what I keep on seeing. It's working through the energetic frustration that we often feel in relationality to situations or circumstances wherein, memory is hard to carry, right? We talk about this. This is effectively the shape of trauma, right? It's working through something and feeling the energetic frustration. And that's why I even mentioned that one of the things that we have to be like conscientious about or wary of, especially as we go through Aquarius full moon cycles, is the tendency to desire to disassociate. I always tell everyone, like when we're going through Aquarian full moon cycles and Pisces full moon cycles, to be careful about not disassociating too much, because I like to point out that this is something that often those with with heavy Aquarian placements need to work on when they arrive here. Like often the desire to disassociate is really strong, but it's the observation that when we disassociate, the emotions don't disappear. Emotions can't evaporate. They go into the cloud. And then once they're in the cloud, then they're in the control room, right? And then you have a hard time getting them out again. So but rather, we don't need, like, and this is what we talk about with the difference between disassociating and non-attachment. Non-attachment does not mean a lack of feeling. Non-attachment means the ability to step back and allow perspective to help one carry the weight of energetic emotion. And that's what's really, I know that's really hard, right? Like, I would not be surprised right now if you're telling me that you're working through some kind of context of hardship, but you're trying to bring a little bit of that energetic perspective to it, because the tendency that we work through, especially with energy in this nature, is there's a lot of messages I'm receiving about the problems that fixation creates. Because when we're energetically fixated upon something, it is usually it's the lack of perspective. And this is how we can tell the difference between passion and fixation. Passion can navigate perspective and still persist, is what I keep on getting. You can have passion and perspective. You can walk down you can have passion and perspective, and it feels energetically fortifying, right? Like when you're passionate about something and you have perspective on it, you find the value of the energetic passion. It fortifies you, right? It allows you to be able to move forward in a way that feels like it reaffirms your own energetic commitment to it. This is often why when we're in a place of fixation, we don't want to listen to anybody else. You know what I mean? Because when we're fixated upon something and you try to bring perspective to it, it can sometimes it can feel like it's damaging the energetic fixation. So I feel like there's something, and I feel like we're feeling like this right now, because I would not, and I feel like the one thing I'm going to say is I feel like there's a lot of new relationships that are coming together right now that are being fueled by mutual passion and healing from unhealthy fixation. And that's either something that is happening within, right? We've all had those moments, or something that we're experiencing from without. Or simultaneously, there's a lot of this energy right now that is like it's the and the reason I feel like that word fixation is coming through is because remember how I said like the one thing that we have to understand is Saturn does not heal things for us. The only way Saturn heals anything, because Saturn works in the context of time, Saturn says to us, my gift is perspective, because sometimes perspective allows us the ability to see something in a way that we couldn't see it before, that then allows us to heal via V, often taking accountability on a perspective that may have not necessarily been healthy. So if there are restorational moments that are happening right now, this is the context by which you probably will see them. That's why I'm also seeing the fact that there's going to be some fundamental endings of unhealthy cycles. If these are modalities where someone's trying to come back and be like, I'm back, surprise, aren't you glad to see me? Another person being like, what do you have to say for yourself, right? Because the observation that when we create a context by which we expect or anticipate that the feeling of missing us is going to fix something, that does not resolve anything. That is building upon pining, right? Like that's building upon the context of expecting another person's longing is going to evaporate or erase whatever was becoming the energetic frustration in the first place. And so that's why I keep on seeing this may be feeling like a very cleansing time, because if these are modalities or experiences where another person was trying to expect or anticipate that time was going to resolve something for them instead of actually resolving it, the observation of another seeing that may be allowing for some very deep closure. But it's a very deep closure in like I want to say like working through the energetic disappointment of being right is what I keep on hearing. And this is usually when you can tell you're not in the space of being like in your egoic space, because you don't want to be right about things when you're hoping for some kind of change brought forth. That's what I told you about these relationships that are coming together right now, feeling I keep on seeing the strength of these partnerships that are coming together during this time. Remember when I said they're being forged in the fires of mutual audacity? Because the reason that we're seeing that is because I see that for some of these relationships, even the ability of potentially predicating the observation or feeling that one potentially moved away from something with another person that had every desire to come back, like every expectation of doing so, right? Like almost like having said to each other, you could set a clock to it. The ability to effectively predicate or see something and then like observing it coming into energetic fruition. I see that a lot of this energy, like working through that, is working through the mutual disappointment of working through the clarity of the perspective, because it's often those moments that we can tell that we're moving in healthy ways, because what we see doesn't delight us, but it fortifies us and builds our own sense of perseverance and relationality to what we know is in energetically harmony to us, right? This is why we talk about the fact that a healthy spiritual journey is not indulgent. It's not by like the ability to look at something and be like, everything's going to look good in my eyes. It's the space of being able to see, to balance a harsh reality, but also understand that the harshness of that is what allows you to find and work towards harmony. And that's what I meant about these relationships coming together right now, building deep in the heart of harmony, because it's the observation that harmony is not found. It's something that you create together. Center card for today's spread is, there's that hangman energy. And I'm telling you right now, some of these energies that are moving deeper into divine union, I'm speaking particularly about a lot of those magician partnerships that were coming together from around the time of the solstice period up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. I was describing in the reading that we gave the other day, the context of, and you know, it's funny because when I was saying it, the word itself, it was like I couldn't find the right word for it. I'm going to keep on using the word that I described, that I saw it coming through as, which was there's some energy right now that is moving deeper into divine union, healing in the context of chirality. And why are we seeing that the energy is healing in the context of chirality? What is chirality? Chirality is experiencing the other side of something. And I'm going to tell you right now that the context, and that the context by which I see that they're healing on the other side of something is the context by which there's something that's occurring that feels similar to something they experience. But because the context is nourishing, they're healing an intimacy wound in the process. And what was coming through in the last reading was the identification point of the difference between teasing a proposal and dangling a proposal. And what do we mean about the difference between teasing a proposal versus dangling a proposal? The message that was coming through in the last reading is we only tease on things that we definitely feel we're going to give another person. Right? A tease is something playful, and the tease is playful when we know that we're going to give something to another person. And so we tease it because it's the delight by which we experience it. And we know that there is a level or degree of playfulness that we can bring to it. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of energy right now moving deeper, and they're teasing things. They're teasing each other as it relates to manifestation goals. But this is why I'm getting some kind of sense of chirality around it, especially and particularly if these are relationships where, and you'll remember that these are the magician partnerships, which were prioritizing the authenticity of the self, right? Not the desire to change another person, but feeling the delight of being embraced in the authenticity of self that is framing the stability point of these relationships. If these are relationships where in the past they were experiencing that somebody claiming they were teasing, but really they were dangling, right? Dangling is holding something at a distance that you never intend to give another person in order to affect them, or in order to effectively punish them. So that's why I see that for a lot of the energy right now working through this type of healing is like staggering, because it's the observation of feeling. I look at this, feeling the familiarity of something, but realizing the value and significance of a completely different context. The difference that it feels like between someone teasing something that you know that they're going to be providing you with, right? That ability of building into it versus the energy that says, this is why I'm not giving it to you. You're not good enough yet. So I feel like for a lot of the energy, like there's almost like, I keep on seeing like it's a little bit of that clearing, but it almost feels like a little mind bending in the process. Fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread for today are, and that's why I said I would not be surprised right now if there's some energy moving deeper into divine union, if this is a time of surprise proposals, because I see a lot of that energy that feels like, I keep on getting, it's like sure thing energy is what I'm seeing right now for a lot of that energy working through those path works. Deep, this is just a perfect example of what I'm saying. This type of energy right now is most difficult for energy that's in divine union. Okay? I was saying this before we started the podcast. I'm continuing it now. Why is this energy right now? And this is just to show you qualitatively. There's no better or worse place to be on the frequencies. Okay, this energy right now, the frustration is fueling positive direction in partnership. And for some of those relationships right now, some of those energies, that's why there's some separations that are happening right now. It's like the observation of positive direction, the embodied manifestation. Energy deep within divine union. You'll remember a lot of these are those chariot partnerships that were coming together from about the time that Mercury and Venus stationed direct behind Neptune up until the time that Mars went direct earlier this year. It's not affecting the course of the relationship. They're chariot relationships. It's already there. It's fundamental, right? But that's why I keep on seeing that. That's why this is the energy working on becoming more comprehensive throughout it. And I know we've got, and this is what it feels like for both masculine and feminine, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. I don't mind seeing both of these cards in reversal right now, because one of the things that we're seeing that we're navigating with this type of energy, as I'm like knocking things over on my table, is working through self-limiting beliefs, old wounds, old traumas. We got Mercury and we got Neptune and Saturn in retrograde right now. The mind, it's giving a lot of that like space of the mind returning back to something that bothers, right? But that's what I keep on seeing that's beautiful for the energy deep within divine union is what is the gift Like, what is the gift when we get overly focused on our own energetic limitation points? The gift of healthy counterpart is the ability of another giving us energetic perspective, right? And this is why we see that for a lot of the energy right now, like working through that, there's a lot of vulnerability here. Like, this is working through the context of talking to each other about our doubts, our fears, our insecurities. But that's the beauty of healthy connection, because healthy connection, right? It's the energy that allows us to talk upon our vulnerabilities and then feeling that energetic embrace of being able to understand and recognize what it feels when another person holds those vulnerabilities sacredly, is all I keep on hearing. Continuing to get clarification between our Seven of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Eight of Wands in its upright. We've got here our Moon card in its reversal. I don't mind seeing the Moon card here in its reversal, because I'll tell you right now, one of the benefits that we often receive with Aquarian full moon cycles, if we are working through them effectively, is working through situations that would have energetically devastated us, but being able to identify the context of our own maturation or our own perspective by being able to look at the bigger picture of something, right? That's the one thing, like if this energy is impacting or having is having a really, if you're having a real hard time in this energy right now, I'm going to tell you right now, this type of energy right now may be most difficult for those with Aquarian and Virgo placements. And I know, even with the fact, and I'll tell you, even with the fact that we're going through an Aquarian full moon cycle, sometimes the Aquarian full moon cycles can be a little difficult for those with Aquarian placements, because it's a lot of that over focusing point, but a lot of that space and being able not to be too hard on the self, but again, allowing the context of being able to like look at the bigger picture, right? I keep on seeing there's a lot of this work that is happening right now in the space of being able to get clarity on things, right? And that's the important thing. Like, and I keep on identifying that, I keep on hearing the word like, it's interesting is I keep on hearing the word, I keep on hearing a rude awakening isn't potentially wrong if someone is being impolite, is what I keep on hearing for the energy in separation, which is really fascinating, because that's what we meant about this space of navigating compassion, right? Because this could be situations or circumstances where, and we were talking a lot about this. Like, remember, I just want to work you through why there's so much of this complication that's occurring right now for the energy in separation, right? Because I keep on seeing this could be complicated emotions, but we navigate through complicated emotions by having very clear standards. Like, clear standards help us through complicated emotions, right? Because what we're effectively seeing is, for a lot of the energy right now in separation, that observational point, right? The ability of understanding that everything is possible, but only in the context of mutual effort. This is what I meant about some of these energies in separation right now, healing potentially from situations or circumstances that required one person to do all the heavy lifting, is what I keep on seeing. I keep on hearing empathy on overdrive, right? And that's what I kept on hearing, like the gift of a rude awakening. Because if these were situations where, again, there were relationships that were requiring one person to do the lion's share of the empathy, which is the space by which navigating something and just having to take on more of that understanding, but not reaching a balance point. And then again, potentially even predicated right now on situations from the past returning, remembering that everything is possible, but it requires mutual progress. That rude awakening might actually feel like a bit of a celebratory moment, because it's the energy that is observing the difference in the forgiveness of forgetting, right? Someone potentially coming back towards us and saying, are you over that yet? Versus the identification of someone that is invested in doing the work to fix something the same way that we need to fix it. So that's why I keep on hearing, like, that's why I keep on getting, like, either I got 3 different modalities right now in separation. I either have some energy right now that's pushing back against working on their own personal healing journey, having the understanding that they could potentially enter back into an unhealthy energetic cycle that would require their empathy to be on overdrive. And just like I keep on hearing, like, I feel like the energy is like, again, like identifying, even in that moment that they identify it, they're effectively free of it. Like they're moving forward in a more productive way because they're articulating upon the fact that empathy should be mutual in a healthy connection. Or these are situations or circumstances where there are new relationships that are forming that are talking about situations of that very nature that they are healing from. And a third form right now that is, again, both of those 2 things happening at the same time. Potentially someone predicating about the fact that they expected another person to come back from the past, not with the desire to heal, but just waiting to see if someone would get over something. And now here they are flourishing in a new relationship, and someone's energetically coming back to see if they're going to continue an unhealthy cycle. And that's what I meant about the energy of like the frustration that fortifies, because it's the observation of what is rude. It's the observation of someone potentially returning and being able to notice and navigate the discourtesy in the expectation that something will be energetically forgotten instead of healed through. This brings us to a lot of the energy that is moving deeper into divine union right now. And for a lot of the energy right now moving deeper into divine union, you'll recall that we spoke about these being those magician partnerships, working like a lot of this energy, they were going through it over the last few weeks, right? The observation and recognition of what we can effectively change, right? You remember that we saw that for a lot of those relationships, like this energy right now moving deeper into divine union, like I would almost say they're almost like it's interesting because they're almost already in deep within divine union. Can I get clarification on this? Yeah, especially with the death card in its reversal. I keep on hearing like there's some energy right now moving deeper into divine union. Like I keep on hearing the only thing they're missing is the word. But the reason I keep on hearing the only thing they're missing is the word is because what they feel about each other, and that's what I meant about the chirality of something. You know, what they feel about each other is so strong that I keep on seeing they're healing from the chirality of teasing with the wording upon it, right? I keep on hearing like teasing each other with words because they know how important and significant the energetic connection is. And again, at the same time, immediately having that like moment of like being reminded of someone that they were potentially fighting with voraciously to define what they were in, and another person almost holding back, almost trying to hold the name for something conditionally upon another person changing something is what I keep on hearing. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, like that observation, I keep on hearing the recollection is restored by the present context of understanding that we only tease upon things that we feel certainty that we will give one another. And that's the difference I keep on immediately. I keep on seeing like as soon as the energy recognizes that, they're able to identify the difference between, I keep on hearing, healthy teasing that feels like it is joyous, like birdsong, versus energy that teases and tries to harm in the context of teasing because it's somebody trying to build someone's hopes in something that they never expected or anticipated to deliver. Continuing to get clarification between our Hanged Man in its upright in combination with our Queen of Wands in its reversal, we've got here our 10 of Pentacles in its upright. And this is what I mean in relationality to the energy that's deep within divine union right now. I keep on hearing comprehensive, comprehensive, which is like, I keep on seeing like when we're working through an energetic frustration point, we don't get focused or fixated upon it. We've got, I keep on hearing like we've got a lot of different things that we're doing, is what I keep on hearing. And so for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, like that observation of working through something and experiencing, I keep on saying, experiencing some of the slowdown that typically the energy that we're experiencing creates. Because again, and this is why I'm going to keep saying to you guys during this period, don't be getting all breathing easy right now because you feel like we're out of this retrograde cycle because Mercury's gone direct. Mercury is not the source of your problems right now, my friends. Mercury was actually helping us this retrograde cycle. The issue right now is we've got a bunch of planets like retrograding out right now in Aries, which means it's hard because things can feel like you don't have a lot of patience for things, right? It feels like you got a little like a little bit of a shorter fuse, and it's very easy to assume, right? It's very easy to come into the context of assuming things. So I'm not like, please, especially as we've got Saturn and Neptune still retrograding in Aries, don't be assuming, and the fact that we've got Chiron and Eris retrograding, don't assume anything. Ask the right questions, please. Okay, I'm trying to save you guys a reading here, okay? I'm trying to save you guys a reading because often when we assume, our perception is skewed. Okay, and sometimes, and I keep on saying, the way we can tell the difference between an assumption and something that we can identify with clarity is the ability, I keep on hearing, the ability of noticing something on energetic repetition is what I keep on seeing. Right. And that's why I kept on getting that for a lot of the space right now, like allowing for a context of giving someone the energetic benefit of the doubt until there is no doubt, or being able to put, like I said, putting some compassion to something. Like this is what we mean in relationality to working through a lot of that path work right now. Because I'm telling you right now, if you're feeling overwhelmed, so is everybody. Right? You are not singular in that feeling of energetic overwhelm. So when we're able to identify and recognize that, we're able to bring that energetic force of empathy to things. Now we're getting somewhere. Continuing to get clarification between our Queen of Wands and its reversal in combination with our Emperor and its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? We've got here our Five of Swords in its upright. So and I got to tell you right now, so in relationality, and like, and here's the other thing I need to stress, especially with this Five of Swords in its upright, this type of energy is not about, and I keep on hearing, not confusing compassion with energetic forgiveness. And why do we keep on getting the message, not confusing compassion with energetic forgiveness? Because I keep on, like, this was something that we were getting in the reading that we were doing like 2 days ago. The observation of recognizing the ability to heal that is ever present, but it requires mutual effort, is one that I keep on seeing we can be patient with, but I keep on hearing we can be patient with, but we can also be realistic about. And a lot of the messages that we were also getting in that modality were working us through the effective difference between, how can I describe this best? The ability to articulate upon a manifestation goal, the ability to put into words what it is that we hope to achieve is the best way of calibrating if something that we desire is moving us in accordance with what is energetically positive and helpful, is what I keep on seeing. And that's what I meant for a lot of these energies in separation, working through something right now. And I keep on hearing, feeling frustrated, but also feeling validated in their frustration, right? Because I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy right now, and remember when I said these new relationships that are forming are sharing audacity. Why is it so important when we share audacity? Because when we share audacity, it's being able to look at something and say, am I seeing it right? Is there something I'm missing? Right? And I keep on hearing audacity is the opposite of being righteous. Because when we are feeling audacious, we hope. I keep on hearing when we're feeling audacious, we hope we're missing something, right? When we're feeling audacious, we deeply, deeply hope that there's some kind of vector that we can interpolate or another person can give us that can correct something that we're energetically seeing, right? This is usually a good sign of understanding, right? The frustration that disappoints but reaffirms versus those energetic moments where we're trying to feel righteous. And what's the difference between being righteous? Being righteous is earmuff energy, right? It's like trying to cover something up and you not want to hear other people's perspective because you're just looking for something that validates your own. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of these relationships right now, what did I tell you? These are relationships where they may have been expressing something that they experienced in the past that made them feel like, look at this, and made them feel very vulnerable. And then I almost feel like, look, almost as if they summoned it. Here comes the past in the context of the present, right? And that's what I told you about a lot of those relationships, like working through something from the past, but feeling energetically reaffirmed because I keep on hearing it's the energy in separation that can tell the difference between the energy in the past that is able to talk towards what it is that they're working to change. Something that feels like it's energetically progressive, something that feels like it's energetically getting somewhere versus energy that was expecting that Saturn was going to do the work for them, which is the space by which you're just expecting that another person will forget about something rather than putting that focus of intention towards something in order to be able to achieve something energetically better. Because I keep on hearing often when we want someone to forget something, we don't want to progress, we want to return. Often when we're building the context of hoping that another person forgets something, we don't want to progress, we want to return. And that's why I keep on hearing there's no energetic turning back, because when you're building into the context of what is healthy, you're always progressing forwards and you're looking towards that point of what is energetically productive to fortify in relationality to what it is that you're building together. Continuing to get clarification between our moon card in its reversal in combination with our death card in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Five of Pentacles in its reversal. Now, what are we seeing right now with that Five of Pentacles in its reversal? For a lot of the energy right now, moving deeper into divine union, I would not be surprised right now if this is a time of new energetic proposals. If there's a time right now where there may be the advancement of some energetic timelines as it relates to deepening of energetic partnership. Why are we potentially seeing that right now for a lot of the energy that is moving deeper into divine union? Because you'll observe that we were articulating upon the fact that for a lot of the energy in this modality, for a lot of those relationships, the ability to find a relationship that allows them to be able to be in their authenticity and to be energetically held there. This is the energy that feels the absolute certainty of finding what feels like their home, right? Because when we feel welcome in partnership, we feel like we are at home. So this is why I see that for a lot of the energy in that space, the ability to be playful about what it is that they're going to create with one another, it feels like it's a delight because it's the observation of I keep wondering, like it's the observation of talking about something that is unquestioning and almost in the space of making it seem like it's a decision, right? It's like almost making it seem like it's a decision, like someone is considering it is almost like healing because it's the observation of the playfulness and the delight of what it is that we know that we are to be to one another. And this is what I meant about some of those relationships healing from that chirality of experiences in the past, where instead of someone articulating or teasing something with certainty, they were holding something away from another person. right? Like almost like those spaces of saying you're never going to get that, right? Like the observation of trying to identify or articulate in the space of like working through the context of making another person feel like nothing they could do was ever correct. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, like even in the space of them moving a timeline faster together, it feels like it's cleansing because it's the observation of the difference between teasing and trying to, I keep on hearing, like trying to affect a change in another that doesn't feel like it's restorative or healthy. Continuing to get clarification between our death card in its reversal in combination with our 10 of Pentacles in its upright. We've got here our 7 of Cups in its upright. So what are we seeing effectively with that 7 of Cups? You'll recall that we talked a lot about right now the energy deep within divine union. And this is what's interesting about it. For a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, working through something in such a way, like almost going back to something and being able to bring a different perspective to it, being able to bring a different point of view. There's something very, very beautiful we see that's happening right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, because I feel like there may be a lot of conversations that are occurring right now, even in the context of the energy deep within divine union, that are conversations in relationality to talking towards how far we've energetically come, is what I keep on seeing. And I keep on hearing the beauty of a healthy partnership is one that our perspective is blessed, right? Because the reason we feel like our perspective is blessed is because it's one that is always changing. It is one that we're always articulating upon. It's one that we're always informing upon or building upon or speaking towards. And so that's why I keep on seeing that there's something very interesting that's happening right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, because it's talking about the energetic comprehensiveness of experience, right? It's the ability to articulate upon something that we often build upon with the expertise of energetic experience. And so that's what I see is really beautiful right now, because I want to show you that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union right now, like combined with the 10 of Pentacles with the 7 of Cups in its upright, like this is almost speaking towards that. I keep on seeing like that space or that determination point in being able to articulate upon or to speak upon what is practical. But I feel like even there, what's lovely about that is there's a lot of that articulation point as it relates to the energy talking towards differing opinions, right? Like this is what we mean by differing opinions, right? The beauty of differing opinions, but that also allow different perspectives, like different opinions, different options. And that's what I like about the energy here, because like I like to point out, like when we're in a productive space, we don't say I don't want to hear it. We say, what am I missing? Right? Like when we're in a healthy space, we don't ever say I don't want to hear it. We say, what am I missing? Right? Like the observation of being able to articulate upon something that gives us more clarity. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Pentacles in combination with our 5 of Swords in its upright. One card to clarify. We've got here, wow, we've got double 10s out right now. We've got the 10 of Pentacles in combination with the 10 of Wands in its reversal. So one of the things I'm seeing right now, particularly and especially for the energy and separation, I just want to show you these cards for the energy and separation, because I would not be surprised right now if coming out of this full moon in Aquarius, there's a lot of emotionality, right? We've got here, look at this. These are beautiful cards to see together. We've got here the 5 of Pentacles in its reversal, okay? The 7 of Cups in its upright, and the 10 of Wands in its reversal. And so this is the conversation that we build upon when it talks about returning compassion to ourselves. Because what it basically says is when we are compassionate to ourselves and we hold ourselves energetically sacred, right? We are able to recognize and identify the possibilities that are around us that are energetically endless as it relates to the ability to restore and work towards something. But also we immediately potentially come to a stoppage point on situations or circumstances that feel like they are over, I keep on hearing, that require the how do I describe this best? The over expression of of the space by which we are able to fix something. And that's what I feel like is really beautiful right now for some energy and separation. It's the observation that everything is fixable, but it's the conversation of understanding that what the difference between fixing something, right? And it's still not being in the space that you hope it to be, right? The difference between, I keep on hearing, the difference between restoration and possibility is the difference between someone that longs to go back to something versus someone understanding and feeling that mutual desire on where you want to go. And that's why I said for a lot of the energy right now, in separation, this may feel like a very difficult time because it's the observation of moving back towards something with the recognition point or the understanding of being able to identify and recognize what it is or how much one has changed, like what it is that one is working towards, what it is that one is doing in a different fashion. And so everything that we're effectively seeing there, I keep on seeing there's something really beautiful that's occurring, but what's beautiful that's occurring there is the observation of recognizing not just what can be restored, but what feels like it is restorational as it relates to mutual direction, right? Like what feels like positive restoration because it's moving in the same direction. And that's why I said that if these are relationships or situations where energy from the past is coming back, it's the difference between the conversation of someone that is articulating with the accountability of being able to identify what it is that they're working to change versus someone potentially just waiting to see if enough time has passed to allow something to be energetically forgotten is what I keep on seeing. And that's why I feel like there's something really beautiful there, because for a lot of these relationships, this time that we're seeing, this is the time that is building upon the recognition of how far one has come. And I keep on hearing like this is a continuation of the energy working through those temperance lessons, because it's the observation of being able to recognize and identify something and at the same time be able to build upon the direction sense, what feels like it is positive versus what feels like it is overtaxing to the self in recognition of what one needs to bring forth to it. Now, this brings us to a lot of the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now. Clarification between our Five of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with that Seven of Cups in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify? There's that Three of Swords in its upright. Now, the Three of Swords in that position right now, for a lot of the energy deep within divine union. Remember when I was speaking towards the chirality of experience, like the observation of experiencing something similar to something that you experienced in the past, but being able to recognize and observe what feels like it is energetically empowering, what feels like it is energetically fortifying, what feels like it creates the space by which one can articulate upon something, but then you feel energetically reaffirmed in that moment, versus those experiences that feel like they shake you or tear you down. For a lot of the energy right now coming into divine union, like this is why I keep on hearing, this is why the energy can almost, I feel like there's like almost an exceptional way that they can tease each other, It's like the space by which they can articulate and talk about something, but in a way that feels like it's healing, because it's the energy that articulates and says, I would never promise something to you that I was not going to give you. Right? It's almost like the energy that says, I would only tease upon something that is certain, because that is why it feels energetically restorative. And in those moments, I just keep on seeing that there's almost like this profound level of healing that's occurring in those relationships, because in the moment that they're able to experience the understanding that the teasing that is positive, the teasing that is healing, is the teasing by which we tease upon something that there's no question that we're going to receive, then in those moments that it feels like another person held something away from us, right? Almost with that sense of like with a condition. Like, this is the energy that is understanding the difference between the healthy, I keep on hearing the healthy inner child healing upon the journey of teasing that feels like it is beneficial, versus those experiences of withholding, right? Like, because when we're articulating upon something and we're holding it away, that is withholding. And I can even see that the space by which another person may have been trying to say to someone, no, I'm just doing that because it's funny. Like, I almost see the energy. That's what I meant. It's not about forgiving things. We heal when we understand something. It's almost like the energy that looks about something in the past, and even as they're healing it, the context of that energetically worsens, because they're now in a space where they can energetically tell the difference. This brings us, and that's what we talk about with the practice of healing being heart opening, because as we heal, like, the journey of healing is not always just forgiving everything, it's recognizing the full depth of what it is we're energetically recovering from. This brings us to continuing for the energy deep within Divine Union right now. Clarification between our 7 of Cups in combination with our 10 of Wands in its reversal. We have here our 6 of Wands in its reversal. So for a lot of the energy right now, deep within Divine Union, I feel like a lot of the energy we're seeing right now, deep within Divine Union, is articulating upon and working through the space of our own energetic frustrations. I just keep on seeing that for like a lot of the energy right now, deep within Divine Union, like working through something in a way that I keep on hearing. Remember how I said that this energy is most difficult for the energy deep within Divine Union right now, because for a lot of the energy in separation and moving deeper into Divine Union, it's fortifying the direction sense. It's the frustration that serves as fuel and relationality to what feels like it's actually making progress, versus things that made one feel like you're in an unhealthy energetic cycle that wasn't going anywhere. For a lot of the energy right now, deep within Divine Union, I would not be surprised if there's energy that's working through the feeling of being in a rut, right? And what does it often feel like? Like, again, when we've got a bunch of planets in retrograde like this, it's like rut energy to like the highest degree. But that's why I keep on saying, like, when we're working through a rut, right? Like, we don't focus or get hard on the self. We get energetically productive, right? We look at something and we identify what it is that we could be doing better. So I would not be surprised right now if there's a lot of the energy right now deep within Divine Union talking about like what they're changing as it relates to routines, talking about what they want to do differently, right? I keep on hearing the way that you get out of ruts is building resolve, which is the identification point of effectively articulating upon the plans by which you're doing something in a different fashion in order to move towards a manifestation goal more effectively. And I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, like working through that, it's the identification point and being able to find energetic efficiencies, working on becoming more comprehensive. So I keep on hearing that these are a lot of the energies right now, potentially, you know, working towards the space of mutual feedback. Like, I almost feel like working through the rut together in order to identify and recognize what could allow the context of being able to overcome an energetic hurdle. And that's either something that the energy is identifying and recognizing within the self, or it is something that they are identifying and recognizing within the context of partnership. If there are, I keep on hearing, if there are like energetic cycles that require fine tuning or working on like finding efficiencies, finding a way of doing something in a better fashion. This brings us to our final card for today, clarification between our Three of Swords in its upright in combination with our Six of Wands in its reversal. Wow, we've got our Knight of Cups in its upright. So let's talk a little bit about that Knight of Cups and its up. And you know, I think it's really funny too, because this is kind of the continuation. This is like the message that we were receiving with the fact that Mercury was in retrograde, right? Because, you know, with all of these, all of the issues that we've been having right now, Mercury has been the least of them. Because all the other planets, a lot of planets right now are retrograding in Aries. So it's really, I like to point out, when a lot of planets are retrograding in Aries and you're feeling frustrated, like the first thing you want to do is be energetically reactive, right? It's a lot of that space where it feels good to let off heat, is what I keep on hearing. You know, it's a lot of that space where you're just like, you know what I mean? Like it makes you really frustrated. But the thing about it, and I keep on seeing, you know, when we have Mercury, and again, Mercury retrogrades are not here to break things. They're here to help us identify and recognize efficiencies. Because when we're working through something and it's not working and we go back into it, then we're able to identify the difference between a groove and a rut. Right? A groove is something that fortifies us. It's something that we want to return back to. It's something that allows for that easement point. A rut is those moments that we're doing something over and over and over again, and we want to tear our hair out. Do you notice that? The difference between a groove and a rut is literally precedented on how much you like doing it. Right. And then that's why we talk about even the journey of being in healthy, like spirituality. It's not like breaking an energetic cycle. It's finding what feels energetically restorative, right? It's finding those contexts by which we identify and recognize what works and what creates that sense of harmony, because harmony is what we identify as the energetic cycles that we experience in the position of existing that allow for that feeling of perpetuity, right? And that's not something that we energetically run away from. It's something that we run towards. And the more that we understand harmony, the more that we can pay attention to the discordant notes of a rut, which is something that we effectively navigate that doesn't feel like it fortifies, but just feels like it energetically exhausts us, right? And it's like often those moments that we get really, and we sometimes experience them internally, right? We sometimes get really hard on ourselves. Right? The ability of seeing the self is being able to see one's own cycles more and more. But there's an ability to allow that to be a good thing, because when we're working in a positive fashion, we try to make those energetic cycles that we experience within ourselves harmonious, right? It's understanding what feels like it is energetically fortifying that allows for that point of stability. While at the same time, it's never perfect. Right? There's always something we could be doing in a better fashion. So that's why I keep on seeing that is effectively like with the idea that Mercury is retrograding in Leo. And you have to understand that Leo is often the sign that recognizes and identifies the heart space, right? The reason that we have the association with Leos and hearts is because when we are able to navigate with empathy, we are effectively allowing that compassion to guide us forward, right? What does Mercury in Leo say? Have you thought about letting a little bit of that energetic compassion in? Have you tried compassion? And for a lot of the energy right now, like I keep on hearing, the energy in separation is making compassionate, if not easy, decisions. Because I also hear that compassion, like when we're in a healthy space, the compassion is not exclusive to our own experience. It's not exclusive. We are energetically included in the compassion, but often when we are too empathetic, that is the wariness point that one needs to have if you are too empathetic, is the empathy that excludes the person of the self in the process of effectively portioning out the empathy. So I feel like there's a lot of calibrating that's happening right now for some energy and separation that says, right, and it's a context of saying it's not selfish to give empathy to the self so long as it is reciprocal. So long as you're not, and again, when we give too much empathy to the self, we can usually tell, because then we start doing things that are exceptional, right? Like, I'm doing me for a change, being like, well, are you doing you in a way that like everybody else would not be able to do you? Because now it's like too much empathy to the self becomes selfish. Okay, that's too much empathy, little less empathy for the self, right? Too little empathy, overly giving, right? Too much of that. We find the right modality by which we bring empathy to the self. And it's not selfish if it's reciprocal, which is the amount of empathy that you give to the self is proportional to what you would immediately give to another person in that situation. And that's why I see even now, that in itself is either creating, that's the temperance energy, it's creating new relationships, but it may also be creating fundamental separations if there's the observation of being in a partnership that does not allow oneself to give the reciprocal amount of compassion to the self that you would bring forth to the counterpart, right? So I keep on seeing that balancing act, as you were, like that balancing act is feeling, right? Is allowing it's like, I keep on hearing, it's like, it's like the cutoff point, but the cutoff point, I keep on, remember when I said it's a rude awakening? It's not that it's a rude awakening. It's observing how rude it is to be in an energetic relationship that requires us to bring all of the compassion towards it, right? It's like, so that's what I mean about the rude awakening. It's awakening to something that doesn't feel energetically courteous, is what I keep on getting. At the same time, we see a lot of really beautiful fundamental relationships that are happening right now as it relates to mutual effort, the ability to bring forth that same level or degree of energetic compassion to one another, that gift that we bring in terms of that reciprocity. And that's why I said, I feel like that, even in that modality of potentially identifying and recognizing something, what are these energies saying as they move deeper into connection, right? You have a right to feel that way, right? The expression, the ability to articulate upon something that is allowing like the sense or the space of feeling that fundamental frustration. And then another person saying, you've got every right to feel that way. It totally makes sense. I would feel that way too. While for the energy right now that's moving deeper into divine union, that's why we see that for a lot of the energy right now moving deeper into divine union, that observation and identification point, being able to recognize and identify like what it is that they, like I told you, this is popping the question to a certain extent, the ability to see something here and allow the context by which you feel that excitement. There's energy right now that is teasing upon something with every expectation of delivering. And that's the healing that's coming through right now for a lot of those magician partnerships. We only tease on things that we are going to deliver, because if we tease on things that we're not meaning to deliver, that's cruelty. Teasing upon things by the articulation of saying, if you keep acting like that, you're never going to get this, that is cruelty. And I feel like that is why I would not be surprised right now if there's something that's happening right now for a lot of the energy moving into divine union, right? The understanding that we only tease on things that we guarantee delivery on, that is allowing for a lot of the energy to feel very fortified in the energetic connection, because they feel so well held even in the space of that playfulness, but also something from the past that they're getting even more clarity on, and they're able to articulate upon why it was so unfair. While for a lot of the energy right now deep within divine union, this is why I keep on seeing what is the gift that the connection, the relationships are giving one another, these chariot partnerships. If these are situations or circumstances where the energy is getting hard on themselves because they're not perfect, I feel like this is the energy within divine union that is almost restoring or reaffirming to each other and saying to one another, what is the gift they're saying to each other, these chariot relationships? If there was something that you could be doing better, I would be the first one to tell you, right? Sometimes the beauty and the gift of healthy counterpart energy is the observation of another person that actually, I keep on hearing, this is the energy that says, listen, right? Remember, I told you they're chariot partnerships. They promise to always go hard on each other. And it's the energy that says, listen, if there was something that you could be doing better, I would be the first to tell you, right? It's the observation of being able to articulate to each other their own energetic perspective that allows them to feel energetically, find the confidence in order to articulate upon what it is that they're either trying to comprehend in a further way or their own sense of becoming comprehensive. Bottom of the deck on this reading, we've got our Judgment card in its reversal. This energy right now, it's like, I got to tell you right now, like the thing with this energy is it's a lot of like, it's stuttering, if that makes sense. How do I explain this? Why is it stuttering? It's like, it's back and forth. It's things, it's like, and that's the thing about it. I need to describe this. And I'm still trying to work through it to a certain extent. And I think it has a lot to do, I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that Chiron and Eris, like we've got all of these little mini combinations of planets that are retrograding together right now. And I would not be surprised, like Neptune and Saturn in combination with Chiron and Eris are also retrograding. It's a lot of that, stop start kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, boom, boom, boom. Like you're about to do something and then something comes up. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of that. But that's what I keep on getting. That's why I keep on articulating to you guys right now and saying, don't jump to assumptions as it relates to things that are energetically frustrating you. Okay? Don't jump to assumptions in relationality to things that are energetically frustrating you, because when you recognize that the space by which we're all going through it and we're all doing the best that we can, it allows for that space of just being energetically easy, right? Like it's almost like, I want to describe this as the relief that we give each other by not being stressed out all the time. I keep on getting the relief that we give each other by not being stressed out all the time is like, it creates that context by which I keep on seeing, like, become that smooth surface is what I keep on seeing. If everything feels like an energetic mess, just concentrate on being a smooth surface, which is a space that says, like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like what's it going to take to make something easier, right? Like sometimes just like, I want you to think about that right now. Okay? Think about being like, don't get all stressed. When you're feeling stressed, be like, how can I embody becoming a smoother surface? Which is the space by which you just allow something to move in a way that it's like, it's just like, I know how hard it is. And listen, I know even if I'm saying this to you right now, right? Like allow, like, and that frustrates you. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Right? It's like, just allow for a little bit of that space, because, and I feel like, because in a way, I need to point this out. That's what, that is compassion. Compassion is like silk. It's like, it's the space by which we work through something and another person says, I was going through a really hard moment and I'll never forget how, like, I'll never forget that energetic smoothness. It's like, keep on seeing, which is the space by which we don't say, I was going through a hard moment and you made it harder, but it's a space by which we say, thank you for making that easier, right? And sometimes we have those moments that can feel really frustrating, but that's what I said. Start with giving them to yourself. Okay, start with yourself and allow that to kind of expand outwards. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and receiving these messages. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone who attended our recent class on the Devil card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday. This Wednesday, August 13th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be focusing our studies on the tarot with a focus on the Tower card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning that class. But if you wanted to catch up, you got a couple days left if you want to catch a few of those classes. And then you'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned or studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the whole year's worth of classes, you will also receive you'll also have full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. That is access to over 15 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You'll also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your your expansive experience or your lack of experience prevent you from joining these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to my Mystic Meditation articles. I just wrote one recently on how to navigate through this Aquarian full moon cycle. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase these per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.